Hi, this is Lydia Cornell with Godshots, the podcast and the video. And we have our favorite guest back, Daniel Lockwood, one of my favorite guests. He has the most wisdom and inspiration I've ever heard in the past 15 minutes, no, the past year or two. I've gotten to know Andrew. He's a master plumber out of Colorado. He's a blue collar worker. He and I have a lot of ideas to share. He's one of the smartest people I've ever met. I met him on Quora, and he was writing these things to help people. And I just want to hear his wisdom today. He's also writing a book. And so take it away, Daniel. Daniel Lockwood.
Oh, thank you very much. Hello, everybody out there. I'm blessed to be friends with Lydia. I think she's got the same goals in mind that I do. Actually, probably that a lot of people have. We just want the world to be a better place. That's all. One of my core belief systems is that life is easy.
Life? Did
I
you
really
say life?
don't believe that life is difficult. I never have. Even when I was in the middle of my alcoholism, I had this knowing that. Are you there?
Yes. Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yes. Maybe I should speak up. Even when I was in the middle of my alcoholism, I always had this knowing that all of my pain and suffering was by my own hand. I don't believe in the word blame. I never have. I think that it is the action of cowards.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as you run and point fingers, then you're disempowering yourself by doing that. You're taking away the energy that it's needed to get things done.
Start over 1 second.
That's something that I really do try to get other people to understand, is that stop blaming and start taking charge, start looking as if everything that you face is something that you can affect at some level. There is no such thing as a situation you have no choice in. That doesn't exist. It's not out there.
Let me go back for a second.
Into my recovery, my sponsor asked me a very important question, and he said, "Do you think there's anybody on this planet you can think of, alive or dead, that can make you do something you don't want to do?" And I thought about it for a second, and I said, "No, I guess not." And he goes, "Congratulations, it's your fault." And I'm like, "Oh, that's great, wonderful." And I was actually mad. I think I used the F word a few times. But he was correct. And the thing is sillier the situations are that you can make up to try to disprove the idea, the more going to solidify it.
Daniel, wait, Daniel.
To my best friend's head, and they say, "Take this drink or I'm going to pull the trigger." Do I have a choice? Yeah, I do. It's not a good choice. I will hand you that. I will give you that. But you always have a choice. You just do. There is no such thing as no choice.
Right.
And in turn, there's very few victims because of that. If you're walking down the street and you get hit by a meteor, okay, you're a victim. You got hit by a meteor. You weren't supposed to be walking around looking for something. But taking charge of your own life is really where the power is at, and that's really where happiness is at too.
I love it.
The proof of that is that the most irresponsible people you can think of, the ones that they don't pay their bills and they're rude and they mooch off of people, they can't keep a job, and they come bank and they don't take care of themselves, and on and on. If the most irresponsible people you think of are also the most miserable people you can think of, then the opposite has to be true.
I love your opposites. Yeah.
The most responsible people you can think of are the happiest. They're the ones that you can rely on. They're always on time, and they're always kind, and their bills are paid, and their house is clean, and it's just dumb stuff like that. But really, you don't need to take my word for it. All you have to do is look into your own life and see the same people. Don't you agree with that?
Yes, but Daniel, let me go back. In the very beginning, I keep interrupting you to repeat the first sentence you said, because it didn't come through clearly. Life is not supposed to be hard. Is that what you said?
No, I truly believe that life is easy. I just do. I don't
Life
think
is
it's
easy.
difficult at all. I never have.
I love this.
Yeah.
And I love the way you
I
think.
think that people want it to be difficult because as soon as they can convince themselves it's difficult, they've got great excuses for lousy behavior.
Oh, wow. That's so true. I'm guilty of that myself.
So, yeah. Well, no, and so am I. Oh my God, I'm not beyond that myself, and I do
Yeah.
catch myself. So, which is, that's fun. Uh,
Yeah. I think we're
I catch
human.
myself judging people, and I catch myself being irresponsible and all kinds of stuff. It's just,
We're
yes.
human. We're human.
To get beyond that is,
Yeah.
I've said it before, I think what really separates humans from other creations is we can choose to evolve. We can make a choice to be better.
That's true.
We can, I don't think that grizzly bears wake up in the morning and go, hey, I'm gonna be a better grizzly bear today. I don't think they say that. I
No.
think people are the only ones that have that ability to make a choice to rise above their instinct and to rise above what the group mentality is demanding of us.
That's right. That's right. I love what you said earlier when we were on the
So,
phone about changing the world, changing your reality. It starts with you, right? We have to.
yes, it does.
Why isn't it hard though? Why is this easy? Because I sometimes have tasks I have to do that I know that it's part of the trials I have to go through to get a certain job I want, or an acting job, and I dread it sometimes. It's painful. Why can't they just give me the job?
Um, so it goes back, in my opinion, we have a visitor up here, a little kitty might show up.
Oh, I love kitties.
It goes back to AA where it says, let go, let God. And that's a saying for those of you who aren't familiar with the sayings that are plastered on the walls inside the rooms. That's one of them. And a lot of people equate letting go with giving up. And they're not the same. Letting go is, and I'll make a circle here in a second. Letting go is the same thing as sailing your boat to the middle of the ocean, poking a hole in the bottom of it, or giving up. Giving up is the same thing as sailing to the middle of the ocean, poking a hole in the bottom of your boat, throwing your radio overboard, and all your provisions and dying. That's giving up. And I think that's a horrible idea. Please don't ever give up. But letting go, on the other hand, is being in your boat, realizing or admitting that you're lost on the ocean, pulling into a port you've never seen, and asking somebody you've never met to take you somewhere you've never been. That's letting go.
That's right. That's right.
That's
Letting go.
the difference. And it's a leap of faith. And the reason why this works is you and me and everybody else out there, everything that ever happened in your life was because you let go.
Yeah.
All right. You decided to let another power, whether you want to label it as a deity or not, I don't care. But you said, I'm going to make a leap of faith and trust in this process or this person or this idea, and let's see where it goes. And you could roll the camera backwards on your life and see that everything that happened because you finally stopped striving for it so much.
Oh, wow. I love that.
Said,
I let go.
I'm going to do something else.
That's so true, isn't it?
Actually, believe it or not, serendipity. This is chapter 4 in my book, which is terribly unedited.
My favorite word is synchronicity. That's the whole theme of Godshots. I have uncanny coincidences, and there's no mistakes, like you said. There are no mistakes, and everything's right on time, right?
I agree with it, absolutely. And the thing is even just scientifically speaking, I think this one's weird. Scientifically speaking, so religion and philosophy completely off the table here. We're just talking science.
Yeah.
Nothing happens that isn't supposed to. Nothing happens that isn't supposed to. And if something were to happen that wasn't supposed to, now what you're doing is you're admitting 2 points of creation. You have to. You can't say if you believe in God, say that over there, that's not God.
Right.
That doesn't make sense, because now you're saying, okay, that came from another point of creation.
So in other words,
now scientifically speaking, there's only one origin of creation, and that's physics, right? You look at the 4 forces of nature: the strong force, the weak force, and electromagnetism and gravity, which they've been trying to unify forever. And that's the rules. There are no other sets of rules. Everything emanates from that point. They can't go out there and say that isn't supposed to happen. That's a lie. Everything that happens was supposed to happen, because the proof of it is that it did.
It did, exactly. But
you don't need to.
What about reaction, action and reaction? If you didn't react to that event happening, then it would take a different course, wouldn't it?
I like what Dyer said about that. Wayne Dyer, for people out there, he's an author and called the father of self-help, which probably was more like Andrew Carnegie or something. But anyway, but that was kind of his label, his moniker. And he said that just because there are starving children in the world and you disagree with that, as most people would, that's just as much as part of the universe as is your desire to eradicate it. That's also part of the universe. That's also part of what's supposed to take place.
Does that go in line with acceptance is the key to serenity? Accepting what is?
Yes, I think so. I think that I really do. When you push against doors that open inward, your room's going to stay dark forever. I mean, you're never going to let the light in.
Oh, wow. That's right. That's right. So acceptance, but accepting something, it's like I had a friend, Kathy Gelbart, Larry Gelbart's daughter, and he created MASH, the TV show MASH, and the movie Tootsie. And she was in my group when I first got sober, and she said she used to resist every morning. She'd get angry at this shopping cart she'd find in the elevator where she lived. And every morning she'd curse that shopping cart, go, how rude these people are to leave that in the elevator for all their elderly people. And then she said, wait a minute, I have to accept that I'm going to see that shopping cart every day, and I'm going to be happy to see it, and I'm going to try to move it myself and just contribute to society. And the minute she accepted that she's going to see it every day, it disappeared. It never showed up again.
And the interesting question is, and here's the one that'll put your head in the bell: if it hadn't have been a shopping cart, would it have been something else? Would that mindset simply have placed itself on something else, and then you would have labeled that, and that would have been the blame again?
Exactly. A homeless person, or exactly. Wow, interesting. There's so much in metaphysics I'm fascinated by, with Wayne Dyer and quantum physics and your book. What is the chapter you're looking at right now?
So I'm looking. So this is for those of you who are listening, all 7 of you or whoever you are. I don't know.
700,000.
You're going to hear the title of this, and more likely you're going to put up a defense to it. Bear with me on this.
Okay.
Trust me. The title of this particular essay in my book is How to Make Wishes Come True. And I know how to do it because I do it all the time.
Oh, wow. I think everybody wants that book.
Not only that, I can show you how every wish you make actually comes true. All real wishes that you make actually come true. Wow. They just do.
Tell us more.
I'm telling you, this is rock solid. So there's 4 steps to wishing for something and leveraging it or using the laws of the universe to manifest it. Okay. So the first rule is there are some things you can't wish for. All right. I would say the biggest thing you can't wish for is anything for other people. I can't wish for you to have a better life, or I can't wish for you to have more money. Now,
Mhm.
I do believe in prayer, and the reason why I believe in prayer is because that brings in a third idea. That brings in another energy. You're acknowledging that there's a greater power out there, and what you're trying to do is at least spotlight something else that you feel might need assistance or help or whatever.
Mhm.
So wishing for other people through prayer, I think that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. But
Mhm.
wishing just strictly for other people, I think that's unethical.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the other thing is you're only. Are you there?
Yes, I think
Okay.
you cut out. Next time I'm going to have you get some headphones so I can hear you better. Yes, I'm here. You can't wish for other people.
How about if I do that? Can you hear me better?
Much better. Yeah. What happened?
Can you hear
What
me
was
better
that?
that way?
Yes, much better.
Okay. So, well, Curious George was blocking the microphone, I think.
Oh,
Okay. Um, you're not. You're allowed to wish for something if it's something that can actually take place for someone. Um, you can't wish to be 6'4" if you were born 4'3". All right, that's just it. That's not going to happen. You can't wish for the powers of Superman. All right,
right.
never going to happen. So anything that is obviously something that you can't get, anything fantasy or don't do that. So that's the first thing. You can't wish for unrealistic things, or
Right.
you can't wish for something for other people because that's unethical. I wouldn't push my will on other people no matter what. I think that's
Right.
wrong.
Agreed.
Um, you know, I think that the best thing you can do is to live a life that other people want, and they're the ones that are supposed to come up to you and ask you what's in your gas tank. That's the way to live.
Right.
Other than that, uh, that's the influence people through your own life, and that's about it. So the second part of making wishes come true, and this is actually the easiest one, is you can't have any conditions on your wishes. No conditions. All right. Um, I used to make wishes that would sound like when I was single. Um, boy, she sure is pretty, but what's the use? I mean, why would this person find me attractive? So where's the wish in that statement? Well, the wish was the condition.
Ah.
The condition was, but what's the use? That's what came true. It
Oh, I
wasn't
see.
what I thought it was. It wasn't that I thought, oh, her or something. So the problem is if you put conditions on your wishes, those are the wishes,
Oh, how
right?
interesting. Yeah. It limits
So
you.
it does. Um, no conditions are allowed, and that's it's. I'm going to look at my notes here, but there are phrases that you want to avoid, like someday
Oh.
or if or when the time is right or
Oh,
eventually.
yeah.
Avoid that. Just drop conditional phrasing and words out of your vocabulary.
Okay.
Yeah. I want to be healthy. Um, I want to be healthy by next year. There's a condition.
Wow.
Uh,
Why not
sorry, but
right
it is.
now? Yeah, I agree with you.
Just
Right
say I want to
now
be
is the
healthy.
time. Yeah. Right.
Just I want to be healthy. That's no conditions, because that really takes away the energy of the wish. Okay, so
That,
here we go. Starting to go deeper down the rabbit hole.
okay.
And Lydia, you're already going to be familiar with this because they talk about it in AA, right?
Right.
So the third condition, my apologies, to making a wish come true is you've got to be willing to pay any price. You just do. You
Mm.
have to be willing to pay any price to get what you want.
Ooh,
Now, willingness is the energy that we're talking about here.
willingness.
Um,
Step 3.
it is step 3, and the thing is I remember my step 3 that I made inadvertently
Mm-hmm.
before I went to the finally started going to the meetings that really did change my life. But I made this step 3 prayer for myself that said, I don't care if I die naked and broke tomorrow as long as I die sober. Doesn't matter. I was willing to let go of everything that meant anything to me as long as I could have sobriety.
Oh, I
Everything.
see. Any length, going to any lengths. Yeah.
Matter. I didn't, it didn't matter if I was going to walk around naked for the rest of my life. Didn't mean anything.
Right.
It was just gone.
Yeah.
No, you know what? And it really was. I was like, and I felt I had no kind of spiritual cash for this. I had nothing to leverage it with.
Right.
Nothing to give in order to get what I thought was priceless.
Mm.
So here we go. Would you be willing to win Powerball if it meant you were going to be blind for the rest of your life?
Ooh. Not me. No.
That's, there are, yes, here we go. This is, yes, this is what I'm talking about. There, um, would you be willing to find true love if it meant you had to die next year?
Wow.
So
This is like a game show I created
these are
called
tough
What Would
questions.
You
Now,
Yeah, what would you do? What would you do? Yeah. This is a
yeah,
moral dilemma. Moral
so
dilemmas. Yeah.
I will say this, and I'm sure Lydia will agree with me, and please chime in. The willingness to pay any price does not mean you are going to pay an ultimate price. That doesn't mean anything. It means you are willing to whatever the universe asks of you, you're going to hand it over.
Wow.
For your wish. You're going to be asked for a price because every wish has a price.
Oh, every wish has a
It
price.
does. There's a price in there. Whatever it is, there it is, right? So, and the thing is this, every single step I'm talking about here, what's really cool about it is everybody can look back at their own lives and look back on everything that they were pining for and wanting and desiring and realize that all of these steps actually took place. Everything.
Oh, wow. How weird.
Everything.
Yeah. Okay.
You said in order for you to find love that you were done looking for it. Guarantee you.
Yeah.
Guarantee it. I know that.
Yeah.
That's because, and that's the next step that's coming up. But you also said at some point, look, I'm willing to pay whatever price it takes. I don't care. I want to be loved. I want to be happy. Whatever it takes. So
Wow.
here's the good news. The ultimate, whatever price the universe asks of you is often a double positive, and it's very seldom actually negative, but you can't fake it. You can't go,
Okay.
I'm willing to pay any price. Let's get it now. No, you
Oh,
really
yeah.
do. You really got to be in that place where you're willing to pay any price. I got to ask you, Lydia, and I have a feeling I know what you're going to say. I don't want to project.
Mm-hmm.
One of the prices I had to pay for my recovery
Yeah.
was everybody I thought was a friend out the window.
Oh.
Everyone.
Yeah. Wow.
And if I would have known, if somebody would have said that ahead of time about my recovery, I wouldn't have recovered.
Right. It's a gradual, gentle process because the spirit of love, which I call God or good orderly direction, wants the best for us. I don't think it's a struggle because the things that are meant to be for us are easy. It's not, I don't think that they are. I mean, you want things that seem to be materialistic or far away or something impossible to get. And then I don't think a lot of us, I wouldn't do anything for that, for a material thing. But
No,
for inner peace, I would.
that's just now you're talking about Maslow's seasons of life, where you're a warrior and you're an architect and you're what
An athlete.
you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Where you're yes, and then you're you're a savior. You work into different phases of your life.
Hmm.
Where
So wait,
basically the ego falls away the older you get, if you're going through these phases.
see, I don't
Um,
remember giving up anything. I
but
didn't state out loud I'm giving up my friends. Sobriety came as a gentle breeze, and it kind of overtook me without my permission in a way, just by my surrender. And it was such a beautiful process that I don't feel I gave up anything. I gained the world. I
did
gained my
you
soul, and then I was on the right path.
did you give up on trying to live life on your terms? Is that something you gave up? You said,
Yes,
see, yes,
yes,
yes.
yes, yes, yes. I see what you
That's
mean. Yeah.
so. Yes, you go. You know what? I want this. If this, I want this. If this, and when you drop all of that,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
the floodgates open. So
That's right.
here's the fourth, and so like as these get harder,
Okay.
the rules get
Ah,
harder for making wishes come true. Here's the
okay.
fourth rule.
Uh-huh.
Sucks. I'm terrible at it. But I will say this: every wish I've had come true, this fourth rule is ironclad. All right.
What is it again? Repeat the rule again. I didn't hear you.
I haven't said it yet. The fourth rule
Oh,
I haven't
okay.
said, and
Okay.
I'll go through all three of them or all four of them again in a minute.
Okay.
The fourth step is, the third one was, um, you got to be willing to pay any price. That's the third step. Second
Mm-hmm.
step was no conditions, and the first step was you can't wish what you can't wish for. You're not allowed to wish for.
Right.
So this is the fourth step, and this one's the most difficult in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
In order to get what you want, you got to let go of it. You
I
got
love
to
that
let it
one.
go. You have to let it go.
Let go the
It,
desire, right? The
yes,
desire.
you
Yeah.
really do have to go. I don't, and you can't fake it. You cannot fake this one. You can't
Nope.
go, oh, I don't want that. I mean, and I've seen my wife do it. She goes, I can't find my keys. Let's just go. Here they are.
Exactly. I've had it happen like
And
clockwork every time. Every
how many
time.
times have you driven around a parking lot looking for a closed space and you finally park and you walk by three right up front?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and how can you not laugh at that? You're going, all right, whatever.
Yeah.
It gets dumb. So,
Is this, can you read that the right way? It might read it
so
backwards. Yeah. Let go.
you have to and the only way I know to actually let go of what you want, and this is key, and I think this
Mm-hmm.
is part of how the universe is wired,
Mm-hmm.
is you've got to turn towards something that you want more.
Mm. Oh, yeah. And
Ah,
Fox says
yes.
distraction. Distract yourself.
You've got
Replace.
you've got to go, you know what? I'm going to quit trying to kick this ball downhill because it's going to roll anyway.
Yeah.
And not only that, I'm probably going to fall on it trying. And I'm going to turn toward something else over here. I'm going to go ahead and let go of this because it's already got an energy now. It's already
Mm-hmm.
got a force behind it.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to tell you, there's so many times, and here we go. This is where it really, really goes down the rabbit hole. Is everything, and like I said, everything that has happened in your life that you were wishing for, these four things happened. Everything, all four of these things took place. You didn't wish
Wow.
for anything stupid. There was something that couldn't happen, and you didn't wish
Yeah,
for somebody else.
that's true.
And you really didn't. You quit putting conditions on it. No conditions.
Mm.
Then you said, I'm willing to pay any price. Whatever price, I'm willing to pay any price. I'm willing to pay any price.
Oh, wow.
And that one's tough because there's a lot of things that people will say, I don't want to let go of this.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course you've got to let it go. You got to let it go.
The willing to pay any price, though, give me more examples of that, because I don't remember negotiating that way when I
See
gained
what I
my
got written
dream.
down here. Don't want to bore the audience.
Pay any price could mean, you mean you're willing to walk away from the things that were hurting you before. In other
Because I
words,
don't
if
want to
you
make this
want,
sound too pithy, but I'm going to read it off and I might surprise
okay,
myself. So here we go.
thank you.
I said, You must be willing to pay any price. And at any price, really, yes, any price. This one's usually the big stumbling block. This is where we separate intent from fantasy. All right.
Mm-hmm.
The energy being promoted here is willingness. Without there exists no currency for your purchase. There's nothing that you can spend for your purchase if you don't have willingness. That's what it is.
Right.
Reaching towards a goal with nothing to offer in return is futile.
Oh.
You've got to be willing to return. You got to be able to give something in return. So,
Give up something to get. Yes.
Yes. I said,
I get it.
think about everything that's come into your life so far. Is there not some sort of balance to it?
Well, yeah,
you
like
need
when
to find
I gave
food,
up.
fine, get a job and earn money.
Yeah.
You know, go buy food. You want to go to the movies? Same thing, time and money.
Mm-hmm.
You perform a skill for others, and in return, they hand you a way to reward yourself with whatever items or pastimes you want to manifest. The greater your skill, combined with the more you sell it and shop it, the more the potential for higher compensation, and in turn, the more leverage you have in your own life.
Oh, wow.
Big ticket items carry the same rules. They simply require higher reimbursements.
So in other words, like when I wanted to have a child, I gave up, running around and dating other people. I gave, yes, you're right. There were certain things I wanted that were big things in life.
Yes.
And I thought about them. I dreamed about them. And yes, I gave up a lot of old bad habits. Yeah.
How about this one? What did you give up for fame? Yeah. That's a tough one, isn't it?
Yeah.
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 And
but
mine
came so naturally. Yeah.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, it happened so fast early in my life.
You just were willing to pay any price, or you wouldn't be there.
No.
I wrote big ticket items carry the same rules. They simply require higher reimbursements. These are usually filed under ambitions, goals, or dreams. The bigger the objective, the higher the potential price. And this is very important that I'm saying potential. This isn't an actual price. It's your willingness for a potentiality. All right.
Right.
Big difference. I emphasize potential for a very important reason. Let's go to ridiculous extremes with a few examples and find out if you have a disposition that qualifies for materialization. Again, I wrote, would you be willing to win the lottery if you lost your eyesight? Would you like to be fit and healthy only to be lonely for the rest of your life?
That's those aren't actually
would you like
real.
to be famous, but you could never be a...
Wait, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, because earlier I kept trying to interrupt and tell you about my story, but I think our earplugs, our ears aren't hearing each other. Mine have these ear pods on, and you have a microphone, and that might be cross-circuiting. But I didn't feel I gave up anything for fame. I had kind of a magical, brand new beginning of my fame. I on the way down, on the other side of it, it was hard to cling on to it. I think I'm getting what you're saying, but I don't think it's always the equation of having to make those two horrible choices. That in order to have the lottery, you have to go blind. I mean,
that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that you have to have a willingness there.
A willingness.
No, I'm not saying that you're going to pay a high price.
Yeah. Okay.
Not at all. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that you have to be willing to pay a high price. It probably won't be asked of you, but the willingness is the part of it that has to be there. Okay,
I get it. So for the wishes to come true, I think I'm getting what you're saying. For some reason, my brain isn't, because I'm trying to think of what I gave up, but I was such on a one-track mindedness, I don't even know what it was I was going to give up yet. Until later, I realized, I almost forgot to have children.
But I guarantee you were willing to pay any price. You were willing to do whatever it took.
I think you're right. I didn't know.
You just had to, because you got there.
Yeah.
Not that you did. Not that you actually did.
Oh, I know.
It's just that you have this willingness to say, I'm willing to pay whatever it's going to be put in front of me.
Okay,
and unfortunately, that mindset can lead to self-destruction. So you got to be careful what you wish for.
Exactly. That's the key.
And
Wow.
then again, the big things in our life, love, um,
Mm.
peace is a big one. Um,
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
you could look back and realize that all of these steps took place. You were like, all right, no conditions. I'm willing to pay any price. And then you said, you know what? I'm tired of fighting after this. I'm going to go over here and do this. And then there it
Okay,
was.
yeah,
And
exactly.
I'll tell you what really sucks about this too. When you finally turn away, when you finally turn away of what you really want and you go towards something else and it manifests, you don't care if you got it or not because you really did
Exactly.
turn away from it.
Exactly. Here's my
You're going,
the way
really? I really?
yeah. Here's how I wrote it. I wrote it in my book a long time ago. If I knew I could be this happy without getting what I thought I wanted, would I have tried so hard to get it and almost killed myself in the process? Because later in life, I found out that what I really loved was having a family. And all those years of struggling to make it in the material world left me very hollow inside. And when I finally had the family and the little boys on the bed and the two dogs, the two kids, and I just was sitting there watching TV together, I went, God, I'm really happy. But I didn't get
Yeah.
everything yet. I didn't get that best-selling book yet because I didn't put it out there yet. I still have holding myself back from the things I thought I wanted. But that's interesting what you just said. That is really interesting. This is going to be a rabbit hole I have to really go down.
Well, and you've got this in one of your emails, this
Yes,
particular. So if you want to
I
read it
love this.
again, like I said, it's
I'm,
not edited, so you know don't judge me too harshly there.
I won't. I am
Um,
going to read it again. It's so true. It's so true.
that's
It's so true.
the one that gets me is that when you let go, like you're chasing it. Say, okay, I'll project a little bit. You're going, I sure wish I had a man in my life, and then you
Hmm.
finally said, you know what, screw this.
Yeah.
And then there he was, and you couldn't get rid of him. And you're like, really? Do I really want to do this? Because no, see what I mean? And
Yeah,
you're going,
exactly.
I already gave up on that. I already let go. And then you're going, well, all right, because you turn towards something else,
Moderation.
and you
Moderation in
did.
all things.
I
Yeah,
know you did.
exactly. Exactly. Wow.
Yeah. It's so with that in mind, knowing
Hmm.
that everybody has the power to do this. Everybody.
Hmm.
You can really make wishes come true in your life. It takes a lot of energy though.
Oh,
It takes a lot of stripping away old ideas,
yeah.
old beliefs, old habits, but it can be done. And not only that, everybody's done it. They already have done it because
Right.
they've already gotten things in their life that they wanted. They
That's
just
right.
didn't realize that they accidentally took all these steps.
Oh, but how sometimes we want, sometimes the universe
And this
has a
is
better
nothing
idea.
esoteric. It really isn't. It's not this hidden knowledge or anything. It's and I'm not one to I don't want this being labeled as some sort of new age metaphysical
No.
something. It's just I think it's easy to point out for everybody else that look, take anybody that you want, roll the camera backwards on your life, and there it is.
You're right.
This is what happened. So all
You're
you
right.
have to do with that knowledge is repeat the steps.
But then you find out that's not what you wanted. If it takes that much energy, I used to have this capacity to
Yes.
manifest. I manifested things. I remember I wanted a little boy. I wanted to be married and I couldn't figure out the biological clock was ticking and I'd wasted so much time, before I got sober, doing all the wrong things. And I finally realized, oh my gosh, I'd love to have a little boy. I don't know where this came from. And literally a year later, I had a little boy. But
But it
I
had
felt
to
I
have happened
manifested it.
after you let go of it.
I did. I let go and I stopped worrying and I started enjoying my life and being grateful.
Yeah, you
Gratitude is an
turned towards
activator.
something else, and then a little boy has showed up.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
then I got three
it's
boys.
really creepy when you start thinking about it. You're going, oh my God, this actually works.
Oh, it really does work. Oh my gosh. I have
Yeah.
manifested things. I used to think about being an actress, and literally my car drove to Hollywood and I got a series. It was almost, I think the thought came first. The thoughts create a reality. And you're right. Everything lined up, but I don't remember making deals. But I obviously did, because I didn't choose to go on and become, a scientist. And later I go, why didn't I go to Harvard in grad school? Because I was on a mission to do this one thing, and it happened really fast because I was so focused. I
Yeah,
think
looking
sometimes
at life through a straw can serve you and damage you at the same time.
yeah, like
No doubt
this.
about that. Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting.
And that's just, and I mean, as far as me speaking about it,
Hmm.
it's going to be a lot more um, concise reading it, because
I
me
love your
talking
book.
about it is one thing. If somebody sits down and reads it, they can reread it.
Yeah.
And this is only one essay out of 18,
I know, I love
and
your
I've
book.
got,
It's so hopeful. You give me so much hope in this book. It's so positive about taking charge of your life and creating miracles, I think.
well, my biggest goal with this is this.
Hmm.
I know you've been there, and again, I'm projecting, but
Hmm.
you go to the bookstore. What's a bookstore? Bookstore is where all the books are that you buy that are tactile. All right, that's a bookstore. Um,
Yeah,
and not
yeah.
online. You go to a bookstore.
Actual books. Yeah.
Yeah, smell them.
I have
That's what
some here
I'm like
somewhere.
a little
Yeah.
kid smelling books.
Oh yeah.
You go to a bookstore and you stand in front of the self-help section, and I really don't care for that term.
Yeah.
I mentioned it to Lydia earlier, and I'll say it again. Is self-help is a little bit like saying frozen ice.
Yeah, exactly. When you said
You don't
frozen,
need to say
that's right.
self-help. You either want help or you don't. Uh,
Breaking news is like that too. Breaking
that's
news.
it's just it sounds dumb. Just the help section, and that's you don't need to call it self-help. It's
Yeah,
like
that's
it's
true.
like this. It's interesting how people use the wrong words. People go, "We
Hmm.
need to address mental health," and everybody puts up a barrier over that. I'll come back to the bookstore.
Hmm.
Everybody puts up a barrier about mental health, and they go, we need to talk to you about your state of mental health, and
Mm.
people will automatically put up a defense over this. All you have to do is change the words. Change the words, and the defenses drop. Walk up to anybody and ask them if they're interested in becoming more mentally healthy. I know it sounds stupid, doesn't it? But all you're doing is changing it ever so slightly. And everybody goes, hell yeah, I want to think better.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. That's
and
right.
but as soon as you say mental health, there's
Yeah.
this, there's this preconception that you were raised with, that you're below standard, you're substandard.
Yeah,
That's not true.
exactly.
That's a lie.
Yeah, exactly. It sounds like they're
I'm
suicidal or
interested in
they're
becoming more
bipolar.
mentally healthy. Why wouldn't I be? You know. So
Yeah.
anyway, the bookstore again. Um, you stand and Lydia, I know you're gonna have common ground with this. You stand in front of the self-help section in the bookstore, and I've said before, I say it on my blog. It was a little bit like trying to take a sip out of a fire hose. You're just getting blasted with all this information, and you go, "Am I going to be able to slake my thirst or not?"
Hmm.
But 85 to 90% of the material written in the self-help section is written by and read by women.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I know why. We're very mentally
And
we have blame society. All human suffering is caused by Victoria's Secret.
yeah,
Yeah.
but look, who needs it the most right now? Every time I talk to men, other guys in my style, me just blue collar plumber,
Yeah.
I see light bulbs going off. I do.
Yeah.
And I don't
The
want to
men need it.
attack people with
Mm-mm.
information. I want to offer it to them. Take it or not. I
Yes.
don't care. It just,
Oh,
if you want it, you want it. But here's an idea. What do you think of it? It's we're men are in a horrible place. I think
Yeah.
we're taught lies from the time we're little kids.
Yeah.
Big boys don't cry.
Yeah.
That's
I know.
garbage. Hold
I
all
know.
your emotions in, and then in prison over it. Great. It's just we need more of that.
Exactly. That's why we're having so much violence.
The ability and the willingness to be passionate and to be emotional is not effeminate.
Not at
It's nothing
all.
to do with that. It's off the table. It doesn't mean anything. I should be able to, in this country, especially as a teenager, it gets easier when you get older as a man. I should be able to go up to another man and say, I love you.
Yeah.
I love you.
Exactly.
And have it nothing to do with sex. What's that got to do with it? And what
women
happens?
we do it all the
when
time.
do men tell each other they love them? When they're drunk.
Yeah. I
So
love you, man.
it's just garbage. It really is.
Yeah.
The ability or the willingness to express yourself, I think, leads to more misery on the side of men than anything.
I do too.
Really.
I love when you said that the first time. I so agree with you. My little boys, my sons, they're 26 and 24 now. They really don't have the ability to actually, I mean, they're empathetic and they're good people, but I want them to have the full spectrum of emotions. I want them to feel okay with expressing compassion and love for each other and a little bit of the feminine qualities, which aren't feminine, they're just human.
They're just, see, I think, and you people out there, you're gonna know this is true because you've observed it. And I'm not a doctor, and I don't want to be one, and that's not my position I'm looking for. This is strictly observation I'm talking about. But when men repress emotions, and what I mean by this is you've generated a feeling, but you don't express it, all right? It's been created, it hasn't been let out yet. Doesn't matter if it's good or bad. That's not where I'm going with this. Three things happen when we do this as men, okay? It comes out unexpectedly, magnified, and mutated. Those three things always happen. What it means is it bounces around from our spirit, between our spirit and our ego, and it finally finds a crack in the armor and over here, and you don't even know where it came from.
Exactly.
You don't even know where the origin point of this is anymore.
Misplaced emotion.
You end up sitting at 2 a.m. crying at the My Pillow commercial, wondering what the heck is wrong with you.
Exactly.
I mean, you're
right.
going, what's wrong with me? What's wrong is that it's unhealthy to repress emotions. It is. I think it causes cancer and everything else. And you already know people that have made themselves sick because they're so emotionally repressed. It isn't this big medical observation. Everybody can see it.
Yeah. There's a famous book I love about, it's called The War of Art, because I was trying to figure out, why am I procrastinating on doing my art? I have so many projects I want to do, and I short circuit and just get tired. And The War of Art says, if people would just follow that dream inside them and they would stop ignoring their passion in life and the things they're good at and the things that are calling them, whether it's art or writing or playing baseball or painting a painting or being a mechanic, half the hospitals would be empty, because we repress so much of our desire, and then we have all these aches and pains, and cancer is very, very connected to emotion. It's very, I mean,
we have a tendency to equate we equate pleasure, not happiness. We equate pleasure with creativity, and they're two different things. So we chase pleasure. Yeah. Creativity is what we should be chasing.
Oh, interesting. Exactly. Creativity. What did you say this once? And I love it. That art is where God intersects humanity, or art is the most visible representation of creative. Being creative is pleasing God in a way. It's like doing the thing you're meant to be doing.
The evidence for art being the balance between living spiritually and living materially is that is the existence of art in all religions. And I don't care if
Yeah,
it's music, if it's
that's right.
costume, the Vatican, every religion
Sculpture.
has
Hmm.
some sort of deeply artistic expression to it.
That's
And
interesting. Yeah.
they know that that's the balance that is both equally material and spiritual. It brings balance. Art
Hmm.
brings balance. And art doesn't mean drawing a picture. Art can
No,
mean cooking a meal or fixing your car. It doesn't mean anything.
exactly. And doing humor, comedy, and, and,
You,
and, and,
you,
and
you just need
helping
an
others.
artistic frame of mind.
Right. I'm trying to ask you a question. I was looking at these questions over here. You said something about, um, so what you're trying to do in the book is to help people realize the power they really have within, and that it's not as hard as we think it is. It may take a commitment of changing your old thinking, but once the thinking is changed, everything else seems easy to me. I had to have
But
a head transplant when you know, a lobotomy almost when I came into the program, because I went, oh, wow, that's a new way to think. I don't have to struggle anymore. I have to kind of
the biggest
let
reason I
go.
wrote this, no, apologies, I don't mean to interrupt.
No, go ahead.
The biggest reason I wrote it was because there didn't seem to be a self-help primer. There didn't seem to be, people were always skipping steps, and they go, you need to meditate.
Oh,
And you go,
right, you're
no,
right.
you can't tell people that. Look, first of all, you got to tell them what meditation is, and then you got to tell them why to do it.
Yeah,
You can't just go, you can't skip rungs in the ladder.
that's
It
right.
doesn't work that way. You really do need to go first grade on some of this stuff. And it's not insulting. It's just
I
that
love
if
that.
people don't know, they don't know. That's all.
So your
You really do
primer.
need to start with. It's like people say you've got to learn how to forgive. That'll never
Mm.
get through to anybody. You'll never make that stick.
Oh
You've got
yeah.
to you've got to teach them what forgiveness is first.
And how do you do that? What is forgiveness?
Oh boy. Okay. That's in my book too. So
Mm.
forgiveness is not. I'll tell you what it's not. Forgiveness is not saying what that person did over there, I'm okay with.
Right.
That's not forgiveness. All right. I was working with a gentleman who was trying to sober up,
Hmm.
and I was talking to him one day, and I said, Scott, you're going to have to learn how to forgive, or you're going to die. You're going to die. And he goes, there are some people I can't forgive. I'm like, all right, spill it. What's going on here? And he said, well, it's my brother. Um, and you've heard this before in the rooms. I wish it wasn't common. There was physical abuse, incest,
Mm.
a lot of terrible, horrible, uh, you know, stuff that is just would make anybody cry that happened in this guy's life.
Oh
Problem
God.
is this is really common. It happens to a lot of people. I wish it didn't. But I said, okay, I get that. I get why you don't want to forgive your brother. I understand that. I said, let me
Mm.
ask you something, Scott. Um, do you know where he is? And he goes, yeah, I know where he is. And I said, all right. Does he know where you are? And he goes, no, I don't want him to. I said, okay, so first observation is if your brother wanted to make amends somehow,
Uh-huh.
you're the one keeping the door closed. You're
Oh.
the one that's keeping the door shut. He can't get a hold of you. You know where he is, but he doesn't know where you are. So if he wanted to make things right, if he wanted to make
Yeah.
things better, you're the one that's stopping that flow. And he goes, yeah, I
Right.
suppose. I said, okay. So let's do some role playing here.
Uh-huh.
I'll be your brother. You be you. And I want you to answer me honestly something. I said, Scott, I'm it's easy for me to go into state on things. So
Mm.
I said, Scott, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for what happened between us. And I need you to do something for me. I need you to take out all of the pain and hostility and bitterness and darkness and rage and everything that is boiling inside of you and making you unhappy and ruining your life, and give it to me. Go ahead and pull out all of this crap and give it to me, and I will take over this burden, and you can walk away free of it.
Wow. Yeah.
And I asked Scott, I said, can he do that? Can your brother do that? And he was turning pale. He really was. And he goes, no. I said, no.
Oh, wow.
Nobody can take your pain away.
Wow, that's a really great
No one.
analogy. Wow.
I said,
to have, yeah.
I said, Scott, forgiveness is not about saying what the other person did is okay. It's about dropping the feelings that are giving you cancer that no one on earth can do anything about but you. That's what forgiveness is.
Exactly.
That's what it is.
Exactly. It helps
Yeah,
you.
And people, you know why people don't want to let that stuff go?
Well,
Because it gives them great excuses for crappy behavior.
oh, that's good. And it's
As soon as you
also
drop
fuel.
all of that, all your excuses go out the window.
It's a fuel too. I was fueled by caffeine and resentment for years, or fueled by resentment, because it gave me energy in a weird kind of perverse way. Yeah. But resentment gives you energy because you're angry and you're
And
up.
when you really, now, here's the kicker, and this gets really sad. All right, two things.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the number one person in life that you should forgive?
Yourself.
Yes. You should be able to go into the mirror and say, I forgive you.
I forgive you.
Which is the same thing as saying, I love you unconditionally.
I
no
love
conditions.
that.
I love you. Doesn't mean I don't want to improve. I want to improve.
I love you.
It just means that whatever I was labeling as broken, I'm not going to punish myself over it anymore. There's no punishment attached to what I think is wrong. Gone.
I love that.
So here's the thing. This is going to really be weird. When people say, I have a hard time keeping a straight face on this one. When people say, please forgive me, what they really mean is, I wish you'd stop hurting yourself. And that's what they mean.
Mm.
It's tough.
Wow. Please forgive me.
What they really mean is,
wow,
I'm
that's
tired
deep.
of watching you hurt yourself.
Oh my God. Wow. I've had to sit on my hands and to take contrary action to forgive a certain family member who hurt me so deeply. And I dwelled on it. Dwelling on a problem makes the problem bigger. I love Emmett Fox. And I think I made this line up. Withdraw your attention from your enemies and they expire from neglect. Your enemies are your worries and fears most of the time. Other people really can't hurt you that much. It's the power we give them with our worry and our fear and our obsession. But I was dwelling on her and trying to figure her out and trying to make sense of it all. And I finally did everything in my power to forgive her so that we could stop hurting each other. And I took contrary action. And I began saying, I love you every time I wanted to say, what's wrong with you? I would just, that little turn, I love you. I started to stop bearing false witness about her. That's a biblical way of saying, stop looking at everyone as an enemy who's against you, because half the people aren't really thinking about you anyway. They're busy with their own, whatever's going on.
It's impossible to get mad at somebody if their opinion doesn't matter, correct?
Yeah. Oh, very good. Yes.
You can't get mad at somebody if their opinion doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, as soon as somebody says something and you get upset, you put a validation on their opinion. You had to have.
Exactly. We take it personally. We get offended. We make them an enemy.
You know, another observation that bothers me, and it does bother me, I wish it didn't, is you can't give away what you don't already own. And this is not me. This is other people have said this. I'm just blithering it out also. You can't give away what you don't own, which means, you know where I'm going. Is it possible to love somebody if you don't love yourself first?
That is so important. No, that's why we have such, I used to think low self-esteem should be classified as a disability and
Yeah.
get tax breaks because, you know, I write comedy, but I was thinking of low self-esteem is caused, I think, that lack of self-love causes you to be envious of others, want what they have, want to kill to get it, or to feel so bad and to allow yourself to be bullied. Yes, bullying is terrible, but to go out and kill people like the Columbine massacres because they weren't popular in school or they were outcasts. If they had self-love, they wouldn't want to hurt anybody.
It's like Dyer speaks about Maslow a lot, Abraham Maslow, and the ability to become self-actuated, which I recommend to anybody reading about this, even on a superficial level. It's really interesting. And Dyer believed that you can choose to become self-actuated, and Maslow thought that you were born that way. But I want to throw my hat in with Dyer.
Mm-hmm.
But he said, and I'm commenting on what you just said, that self-actuated people are independent of the good opinion of others, and I had a hard time wrapping my head around that. And I finally came to the realization that I don't care anything what people bad say about me. I don't care, say whatever, but I also don't care what people say good about me.
God, you're lucky. I'm still working on that one.
It just doesn't bother me. I mean,
so
I don't live for applause. I just don't. And I don't react to insult. Doesn't matter.
Well, you're evolved because a lot of people, I would give anything to let go of what anyone thinks of me. And I still don't want to offend people. I don't want them to get the wrong idea. We have this cancel culture right now where you're canceled for saying something inadvertent at times. But yeah, that would be such a liberating thing. I'm working on that. That's what I want to read your book for. I need to really let go of what anyone thinks of me because then I can be free.
Yeah, it really can. I mean, it's like, I like what George Carlin said. I'm going to cuss a little. He goes, you ever notice that how much of an asshole somebody is in direct proportion with how close they are to you? That guy way over there, that guy's an asshole. But this guy right here, this guy's kind of an asshole, you know? And so I'm like,
exactly.
Yeah, that's kind of true. So, but if somebody's 3 miles away from me and yelling about me, I'm not going to care because I can't hear them. However, I can have the same attitude if they're standing next to me.
Exactly. Interesting.
You just can't. It doesn't mean anything. I like Buddha. Buddha had a disciple, and people were always belittling him and talking. It's just like any spiritual leader, belittling him and all that. And he never seemed fazed by it. And his disciple said, doesn't it bother you that these people are saying all these things about you and stuff? And he said something really profound. He said, when somebody offers me a gift and I refuse to accept it, to whom does the gift belong?
I love that. That's right. Yeah.
And that's Dyer again, because I'm a big fan of Dyer. And this is in one of his audio programs. So I'm re-quoting people.
I love
But
Dyer.
it's important because other people can hear it. I want to at least say that's where I got it from.
Yeah.
But it really is. I mean,
one of my
somebody
favorite
flips you
books.
off my way, whatever, you know. I mean,
yeah. I mean, I have gone through 3 years of feeling I was misunderstood, and I have to be understood. Why is it that? How could they ever think these things of me? But methinks I doth protest too much, as Macbeth in Macbeth.
I struggle with Shakespeare. If I've seen the play, I can read it.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
But I can't pick up As You Like It and read it and understand it. I can't. It's just a bunch of, you know.
Act it out.
If I've seen the play, like Hamlet is a great play.
You need to be in the play.
Then I can equate. So I forgot to mention. Here you go. Everybody see that?
What is this? Let me see. What is this?
That's my website.
Oh, cool.
That's my website.
Light on the Threshold. lightonthethreshold.com, right?
Well, it's actually DanielAndrewLockwood.com.
DanielAndrewLockwood.com. Oh my God, it's brilliant. It's got the entire beginning of how to change your life. Step 1 to it goes from the beginning
My
of
phone number's
self-help.
actually on there too, under contact me. So
I'll put it up when we do the
um,
podcast, when I send it out. But I want to ask you, the chapter you were going to discuss today was the one on synchronicity, right? Was it a different chapter?
no, this is the one that I wanted to, was about making wishes come true.
Oh, I love that. I love the title of your book. We're going to have to have you on
the
again.
title of the book that, pardon?
We've got to figure out this audio, because I think if I get you some headphones, we can not talk over each other. I think it's the headphones.
I am sorry about that. And that is one of my, I get kicked under the table a lot for interrupting.
Oh, no, you're not. No, you're the guest. I love you.
Well,
You're the best. But I remember, Daniel, I met you because he had been writing on Quora to help people. And there's a lot of people suffering in life from deep depression and suicidal tendencies. And we were both trying to help people to grasp these concepts that the world is really your oyster. You really can take charge. Yes, it is a beautiful world. Life is supposed to be joyous, happy, and free and fun. But we're so mired in the tiny, petty difficulties, and we don't believe in ourselves enough. We don't love ourselves enough. We're not liberating our consciousness. So, and Wayne Dyer. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, one of the biggest secrets of life is we all have the ability to live more than once without dying.
Ooh.
Really?
Explain.
You've got more than 2 lives under your belt in this lifetime, don't you?
Yeah.
I know I do.
I do.
Yes.
Definitely.
I do. I mean, you literally can be reborn without dying and keep going.
I shake it off. When I'm sad or depressed or I'm mired in some sort of self-conflict, I go, oh, wait, I think of 5 things to be grateful for. And I go, I'm alive. I have my eyesight. I feel loved today. I have the power to change any mood I'm in. I really do feel that I have that power. But I got this because I started to believe in a power greater than myself that loves me. And it's inside me. It's the inner power. You know, it's not some anthropomorphic God in the sky, to me.
You know, and for anybody out there that is thinking about looking at AA, don't let the spiritual aspect of it sway you. And the reason why I'm saying that is that the word God is in there a lot, but that's really just a filler. Okay.
Right.
You need to believe in a power greater than yourself. And honestly, anyone who has something you want is a power greater than you. Is somebody over here that's got peace in their life and is willing to share how they got peace in their life, greater power. There's a greater power right there. It doesn't have to be a deity. Really, it just doesn't.
No. To me, it's the fellowship of the spirit, the fellowship of so many people wanting the same thing and helping each other, letting go of their selfishness long enough to help you. And it's like a circle of love. And it grows exponentially once you start getting out of your self-centered fear. But I actually,
If your belief in a higher power morphs into something that's fine. I don't do whatever you want, but it doesn't have to. It just doesn't have to.
But I have to say, I always wonder how it happened for me that I was able to raise my hand and surrender 20 years of hell and misery and addiction and absolute low self-esteem. And I was raised by a bipolar, very violent, abusive mother. And I wondered how I was able to just surrender that. And everything in my life changed by that simple act, that simple action of believing that something loved me enough to just toss my burdens away. In the Bible, it says, cast your burdens on the Lord. In AA, it's surrender, let go, let go and let God, whatever you want to call God. God can be group of drunks, G-O-D, good orderly direction, great outdoors. But if you don't believe in a power greater than yourself, go to the ocean and try to stop the waves. That's one way.
Well, actually, your great outdoors is an excellent moniker because You live in California, and unfortunately, it's
Yeah.
burning down right now.
Well, it's
Um,
beautiful today.
I think one of the most spiritual places I've ever been in my life was one of the most spiritual places I've ever been was in Muir Woods.
Oh, I love Muir Woods
The
near
the the
Big
redwood
Sur.
groves and stuff out there in California are just
Oh, so
temples. They
beautiful.
really are.
Oh, it's so beautiful. We have to, I
It's
was
just
thinking,
breathtaking.
it's breathtaking. I was thinking of how to pray for the people who have been killed in the fires and who are losing everything. And that is the secret, is to have a heart of compassion. And I've had some miracles through prayer as well. I call them miracles. They're really not miracles. They're natural law, but
Yes.
they look like the nature's been rearranged. But actually, I think we're supposed to be living in that frame of mind all the time.
I think our unwillingness to see common miracles causes a lot
Hmm.
of pain. I
Yeah.
mean, there's a dandelion in your yard that you don't want is honestly a miracle. I like what
Yeah.
what did Carl Sagan say? He goes, "If you're going to make an apple pie from scratch, first you've got to create the universe." Like well, yeah,
Ah,
I guess so.
that's funny.
So everything is really, no matter what you look at, it's just this miracle. Everything.
Everything's a miracle. I was last week I went to an AA meeting and I was crying about the little boy who died. They asked me to speak because it was my birthday, 26 years on Friday. Thank you for my chip. That was so sweet of you. Um, my beautiful, I have to show it. I have to bring it out, but it's not here right now. It was the big book, the original big book of AA in a beautiful ceramic chip. But I was grieving the death of a child in the fires, and he died with a little puppy in his arms, and I couldn't get over it. And I forgot that I don't have the control of God. I can't see everything. But I remembered, I asked the group how to pray for this child. And then I remembered that when my little boy was in third grade, he had a high fever that lasted a whole week. And another child had a high fever in the fifth grade. And they sent a notice home the next day saying, little Benjamin died of a high fever overnight. And my heart broke for the mother to the point where I could not stop crying. I fell to my knees in the kind of prayer that passes all understanding, that deep compassion prayer, where I just prayed for the mother. And I said every prayer I could think of. And then I immediately got in my car to find her. And I don't even know how. She lived in an apartment building, which means you couldn't get into the building. But I found the address and my car drove over there by itself. I felt like I wasn't even in the driver's seat. And it veered over to the street. And there was a woman on the sidewalk. She looked tormented in her bathrobe, kind of just crying. And the car kind of parked right near her. And it veered over there. And I rolled the window down. I went, "Are you Benjamin's mother?" And she said, "Yes." And I got out and I ran into her arms. We ran into each other's arms and we just held each other on
That's
the
a good
street.
story.
And she said, "Did God send you?" And I said,
Yes.
"Yes, I think so." And I went into her house and she showed me, she had a little apartment and her little boy that died slept in the living room and his brother in the other room. And all his Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon cards were all around and all of his toys. And she wanted to just show me everything. And I just sat with her and I listened for 2 hours. And I told her out of the blue something my brother had told me before he died. Our children are on loan to us. God needed him back home for something else, for bigger business. And she ended up using those words in the funeral and the memorial service the school went to a couple days later. All I know is we don't know the reason for anything, but all we can do is be human angels for each other and get out of our selfishness long enough to care about someone else. That was my
Uh,
lesson.
who's the guy's name that started America's Most Wanted? His little boy was beheaded
That's right. John, oh,
and
what's his
killed.
name? Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, he's
Um,
wonderful. That's right.
there's a great example of somebody who took what most people would put a bullet in their head over. I imagine I
Exactly.
would contemplate that.
John Walsh.
And
Yeah.
he John, well, he took that, and I mean, how many lives has he changed for the better through that act? I mean, it's
Exactly.
not that I agree with what happened to start it, not at
No.
all. But it is an example that people can, you know,
Turn bad into good.
you can use those things as levers to make the world a better place.
Yeah, his little child was abducted and murdered, and he found the, oh my God, a
Yeah.
parent finds a little boy, and he turned it into something good. He started America's Most Wanted and started this crime
Yeah.
show, an FBI show. Yeah, he's done
And
amazing things.
then there's people out there that goes, oh well, he cheated on his wife, and all. I'm like, what are you talking about? Why
Yeah,
are you going? What about? What's the
yeah,
point of that? I mean,
yeah,
you know,
exactly,
that bothers me. Anybody that says what about is trying to take away from something that can make the world a better place.
exactly.
You know,
Wow,
I
what a
just
beautiful. Well, can we do another chapter of your book once let's get the audio working better, but I want to do every chapter in your book because it's a miraculous book. I can't wait for it to come out. How to
and
make wishes.
that way nobody will have to buy it. No,
No,
it doesn't
but you'll
matter to
do
me. Like I said,
a
I've already got a
workshop.
job.
No, they'll
So
buy it,
if
but
it helps people, it helps people. That's really all I'm.
that's what we need. Beautiful. How to make wishes come true. It'll be out when it's ready. I have the same thing. My book will be out when it's ready, but we should help people now. But
Yeah.
this really was enlightening talking to you. I love talking to you. So let's do it
Well,
again.
I like interrupting you.
You're not
Sorry.
interrupting me. You don't do that.
I'll get
It's
headphones,
the
I promise.
audio. These work, but I think they have a noise feature which keeps the echo out. Because in the beginning of Zoom, we were all echoing over each other. It's just, I've been using it a lot lately I teach a
I
class
will
on
get
Zoom.
some headphones, a little speaker coming down. I'll get that Tony Robbins look down, you know.
Oh, cool. Yeah,
Not gonna be as good
public
looking.
speaking. You're better looking. Okay, I love you.
No,
God bless you.
Tony Robbins he's a good looking guy.
He's good looking.
So,
Yeah, I actually love Tony Robbins. Wayne
so
Dyer
I.
has a book. One of my favorite books by Wayne Dyer is called You'll See It When You Believe It,
Can you believe it? Yep.
not the other way around.
Yes.
Okay, so we're on a self-help journey, but it's a journey of discovery and lifting our consciousness above the mortal realm where we seem to be mired in arguments. But above that realm is this higher plane, and you can slip into the joy of life by letting go.
My journey is about shining a light on the doorways. That's really all. I don't want to tell people where to go.
Yeah.
I just want to light up where to start.
Well, that's good. We need that. We need that primer. And by the way, men need your book. That's what you're trying to say. I think you're right. Women, we do a lot of self-analysis, self-reflection, but men are stuck in this kind of Neanderthal way of being where they feel they're not allowed to express their emotions without being named or labeled.
One of my things is that I point out with guys is, are you doing things that are tough or doing things that are easy? Are you a tough guy or are you a pushover? I mean, is it tough to walk away from a fight or is it easy to start a fight? Which is tougher, you know? Are you doing the things that really are tough to do?
That's a good question.
Are you really doing tough things? Are you dropping the need to be right? That's pretty tough to do.
Oh, for everybody.
Yes.
We're going to leave it there for now, and I'll have you back next week, I hope. And so thank you, Daniel Andrew Lockwood.
Thank you, Lydia Cornell.
It's been a lot of fun. So stay tuned for more shows coming up, and have a joyous, wonderful weekend starting tomorrow.
Yes, you too. I think we're going to hit some antique stores.
Oh, good. Oh, antique stores. Have fun.
I promise.
Thank you very much.